What is cringe and cringe culture? Cringe is a word that people say whenever they feel embarrassed or awkward by a body or face move of another person. It is mostly used by teenagers on the social media. And the cultural cringe is an internalized inferiority complex that causes people in a country to dismiss their own culture as inferior to the cultures of other countries. It means that this word is used when people make fun of others from other countries for doing something that is just not their culture. And currently, we can mostly know the word cringe from TikTok, a famous social media where people record themselves and post it to make people laugh, show a dance, or for other reasons. As it is international, because the users come from everywhere around the world, we can notice the cringe culture phenomenon easily. There's a lot of people judging or making fun of somebody because of its different culture or humor. I think that most of you have already heard of that term, for example, in the comments of a TikTok.
Ableism. Ableism is the discrimination of the social prejudice against people with disabilities. It's when society says that ableism or disabled people require fixing and defines people by their disability. Not them as human, but their disability to do certain things. Ableism is classified as an entire group of people, less than, and includes harmful stereotypes.
In society, casual ableism is accepted. It is unfortunately common on social media we use as well, for example, TikTok and notoriously YouTube. Online people find it easier to use ableist language than in real life. People tend to make jokes about things which are outright offensive, as well as say words such as the R word, which is a slur. Use of words and expressions such as these have become normalized in society in a negative light. Another way
The internet has truly become a cesspit of pure irony, at which point things that are truly genuine but don't fit some people's ideas of good or acceptable are labeled as something negative and worth making fun of. For example, due to some of the bullying and hardship they may face in life, a trait of people on the autism spectrum is finding refuge in niche interests and being a part of a fandom where other neurodivergent people can bond over a common interest. The people being picked on by cringe culture are harmless and mostly either having fun or educating people on certain things. When able-bodied or neurotypical people see this behavior, they may think it's cringeworthy and embarrassing, and sometimes express this with comments and bullying or put it in a compilation video.
Have you had a public account on social media before? If yes, have you ever received any senseless hate comments on it?
All my accounts have been private.
Public TikTok account, but no, I have never received any hate comments.
Yes, I've had a public account before, and yes, I've received bad comments, but not personally to my friends.
Yes, I have. No.
Are you part of a minority, and if so, have you randomly come across videos or comments on the internet of people being offensive to the group you're a part of?
I wouldn't really say being called being gay is part of a minority because we're a pretty large part of the world's being gay is part of a minority because we're a pretty large part of the world's population, but it's definitely like a minority in the sense that people of the LGBTQ community are discriminated against. And yeah, I've come across many videos of people being homophobic a lot.
Yes, I've seen online many sexist comments or misogynistic things that people say.
I probably wouldn't say that I'm a part of a minority. I mean, I've experienced just being Danish, being from a country that's very small, that I met some people in the US when I lived there who kept telling me that Denmark was socialist, and so I think in that, and they were very disregarding towards Denmark as a country and our politics. But I think that's pretty much as far as I've experienced it.
Yes, I've read very racist comments about my country.
There are many commentary channels on YouTube, some more focused on making fun of people than others. What do you think the line between criticizing and bullying is?
Well, criticizing you're more just criticizing something they've made or done, whereas with bullying it's becoming very personal. You're harassing them, and well, just blaming them for things.
I feel like it's okay for certain YouTube or commentary channels to make fun of stuff, but you have to be able to notice when they're taking it too far and when the joke is no longer a joke and it's just oppressing the people who are already oppressed. So some things you can laugh about, but some things you have to be careful because it can line into discrimination or bullying.
I feel that criticizing it's more like a general opinion and that everyone has done it like at least once in their life, and bullying it's more personal and it can get to the point of mental or physical issues.
If you're taking a piece of art, for example, you're taking a film and you're making a commentary on the way it's directed, etc., how it's been made, I think that is a criticism of the film because you're not personally attacking the actors. Yes, you're kind of in a way attacking the director. Then again, if you do make a piece of art and you put it out there to the world, you are going to get some criticisms on it because not everybody enjoys every single thing that you brought out into the world. And I think that's the difference between criticism and bullying. Criticism is when you willingly put something out into the world and you get, I think it's sort of more like personal opinion. And normally when we're talking about art, it's never about somebody's body or etc. And then bullying, I think, is specifically about people as an essence, you know what I mean? Like normally I think it's directed towards people.
I would say that if you feel bullied, then it is bullying, and not just criticism. So in other words, I think we should generally just be really careful with the way that we express ourselves toward other people and towards, when we talk about them or make fun of them, because a joke can be fun, but it can also be too much.
Do you or anyone you know have a disability? If so, what do you think about the culture of bullying on the internet?
That's not.
Yes, I know people with disabilities, and I feel like the bullying they receive on the internet is from people who are sometimes uneducated or just don't care about learning from others. And the bullying they receive can be cruel and just like their lack of comprehensive and solidarity there is for others, it can like really show.
Anyone really near my age I know who has this disability, mainly older people, and I feel like they never see anything on the internet and wouldn't care anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much, and I haven't heard much about it.
I have some friends who are disabled. I have a lot of friends who are like on the autistic spectrum, and I think the bullying culture has been very normalized in the past recent years, and I think it's become more and more of a normal thing to like make fun of people, random people, specifically on Twitter. I think I see it happen a lot, where people just comment on a tweet and then make fun of them. And like I can understand that sometimes it's funny, but then again, if you look at it from the person who you're making fun of's perspective, it's really not. So, yeah.
Have you ever been ashamed of something you have an interest in because you're worried it might be perceived as cringe or people may make fun of it?
I feel like almost everyone probably has done this, but yeah, it's not everything I've done that I want people to know about. So, well, at least unless I know they not have a problem with me with knowing it.
Yes. Like a few years back, I think it was probably 2016, 2017, I had a K-pop phase. And I still kind of like K-pop. You know, like they've released some good songs, specifically Twice. I stand Twice till the end of my lifetime. But I remember like in those years, I was really embarrassed about telling people about it because I thought people would make fun of me. And obviously my friends, they do make fun of me a bit, but I think it's okay because I've allowed them to make fun of me about it because I think it's funny looking back on how I was like worried that people might laugh at me, I guess. But I'm not worried about that anymore.
Times I really don't care about what the people thinks, but there's times that yes, it affects me.
When I was a child, the term cringe just didn't exist. But yeah, I did have some interest that I sometimes were embarrassed to talk about with other people because I was afraid that they were going to make fun of me. I've played chess since I was a child, and I played to, well, a pretty high level, but chess is just not really seen as something that's very cool. And I have experienced people making fun of it because it makes you nerdy to play chess. It's different today. It's something that has developed quite a lot and changed quite a lot, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. But it's different, I think, when you're younger and you are still, growing up.
What do you think of when you hear dark humor?
Maybe be offensive or maybe like rude, but I don't think it is that. But you just have to make sure that it doesn't come off in these ways. So it's kind of difficult, but you have to make sure it's not offensive or rude.
So dark humor is really a part of the Danish culture a lot, and so I think it depends. I mean, for me there's a line between when it is too much and when it is funny, even if it can be inappropriate. But overall, I enjoy dark humor.
Oh, I think of incels. I think of immediately my mind goes to Reddit and it goes to like the really sketchy, like rapey jokes that are really creepy. But then also like a lot of my friends do have dark humor, and some of them are really funny jokes. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, some of them I can laugh at, but most of dark humor I just don't find that funny.
I think that dark humor is like okay and sometimes fun, but sometimes people just say, "Oh, it's dark humor" when it's actually something that is like racist or misogynistic, and they just try to hide behind the dark humor. So it depends on what intention you have with it.